evening, welcome to the State of Business on our television with me, Kavish Pereira. Let's take a look at today's headlines. SLFP May Day rally held under President's auspices. Meeting on discussing measures to provide uninterrupted power held under patronage of President. News in detail. The May Day celebration of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party was held at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute yesterday under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. During his May Day address, President Sirisena emphasized that the nation must unite under one flag in order to establish peace in Sri Lanka and in order to eliminate terrorism from the country. The president also reiterated his promise to complete the task of eliminating terrorism from the country, even at risk to his own life. He also emphasized that steps are currently being taken to ensure that such a tragedy will never take place again. The president also mentioned that he had received the interim report by the committee appointed to look into the Easter Sunday attacks and that he would discuss with the Attorney General as to what actions need to be taken. This May Day rally was organized by the SLFP Trade Union Federation and members. Senior Deputy President of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, former Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva, and General Secretary of the SLFP Member of Parliament Dayasiri Jayasekara, United People Freedom Alliance General Secretary and Member of Parliament Mahinda Amaravira, and National Organizer of the SLFP Indubinda Dissanayaka, and senior members of the party were also present at the event. In addition, left-wing party leaders Vasudeva Nanayakkara, leader of the Nava Samasamaja Party Dinesh Gunawardena, leader of the Mahajana Eksat Peramuna Professor Tissa Vitarana, leader of the Lanka Samsamaja Party, Leslie Devendra, General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Nidahas Sevak Samaja, leaders of the trade unions and representatives participated on this occasion. A discussion regarding the uninterrupted supply of electricity was held yesterday under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. During the discussion, it was noted that despite rainfall in the catchment areas, the water levels of the reservoirs had not increased significantly, leading President Sirisena to request from all to use electricity frugally. Extensive discussions were also held on alternative energy sources that can be utilized to ensure an uninterrupted power supply. Ministers of Power and Energy and Business Development Ravi Karunanayaka, Ministers Partly Champika Ranawaka and Rajitha Senaratna, Non-Cabinet Minister Dr. Harsha De Silva, State Minister of Finance Aran Wickramaratne, Secretary to the President Udayar Siniviratne, Minister Secretaries and other state officials were present at this meeting. The 26th Commemoration Ceremony of late President Ranasinghe Premadasa was held under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena at the late President's statue near the Housetop Court Complex yesterday. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, Speaker of the Parliament Karo Jayasuriya, Ministers, Members of Parliament Hema Premadasa and others took part in the ceremony. President Sirisena paid tribute to late President, offering a bouquet of flowers, and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, Speaker Karo Jayasuriya, Minister Sajith Premadasa and wife of late President Premadasa, Hema Premadasa, also paid floral tributes. President Ranasinghe Premadasa was assassinated by an LTT suicide bomber while taking part in a May Day rally in 1993. Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority Chairman Kishore Gomes, who was in Dubai as part of the Sri Lankan delegation that took part in the Arabian Travel Market International Travel and Tourism Trade Show held recently, while speaking at a foreign media interview, stated that the Easter Sunday attacks are a blow to the entire Sri Lankan economy as opposed to just the tourism industry.
Understandably, it's a blow on the tourism industry in Sri Lanka, not just on the tourism industry, but economy at large. But we've looked at the other places where there have been similar attacks, similar incidents in the past, from Bali to, France, Paris to New Zealand to, all these places. And we are, very, very confident that we'll be able to bounce back over the next, few days' time. Army is in well control. They're being able to apprehend, most of the culprits, and then they say that they're being able to apprehend the masterminds behind the organization. And they have so far been very, very effective. So with that, I'm sure over the next couple of months' time, we'll be able to get back to that, very safe environment within which we will start the rebuilding process.
Speaking further, Kishore Gomes went on to elaborate on the number of people in Sri Lanka who are dependent on the tourism industry.
We have about 400,000 indirect, employment being created, and balance, would be direct employment. And there are, of course, others who are depending on the tourism industry, doing various businesses relating to tourism industry. So it is quite significant, given that tourism is the third largest, revenue generator for the country.
Kishore Gomes also spoke about the response towards Sri Lanka by those who attended the Arabian travel market this year.
Response actually has been very, very encouraging, and we had a lot of visitors visiting us, some of them to talk about business, but some of them, just to show their love, for us, to share their condolences with us. So it has been extremely inspiring, and, everyone is saying that, we are with you, let's stand together in order to revive the industry, because this is global, terrorism. This is nothing to do with, Sri Lankan terrorism as such. So in a situation of that nature, we all have to get together, support each other, and see that we create that, safer world for all tourists to enjoy all the destinations.
Keep tuning in for more news after this short commercial break. Welcome back. Former chairman of the International Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka, Tessa Jayawira, speaking exclusively to our television, states that in order for Sri Lanka to extricate itself from the current situation, the country must take advantage of opportunities that arise following the terror attacks.
It's a disaster, all right. People died, foreigners died. It's a disaster. But then we must think positive. People say that the economy crashed. The economy has not crashed. The foreign remittances by our people working in various countries overseas has not reduced. It might increase because they are sending more money to their relatives to look after their welfare, because the prices and the availability of goods have become scarce, so they need more money. Then the garment industry has not crashed. They have got more publicity, and then we get sympathy. So because of that sympathy, we will have more advantages. So make use of this opportunity to take the place forward.
Speaking further, Tessa Jayawira expressed the following regarding state enterprises and its management.
The industry was never managed by professionals. It was a political vehicle to give employment. We are taking Singapore as an example. Most of the big businesses in Singapore are controlled by the state, owned by the state. But they are profitable. They are run as private sector. In this country, we talk of state-owned enterprises. There are, I think, about 200 or 300 state-owned enterprises, all being supported by us. We pay our taxes, and the government releases money to support them. For what? Because they are employment vehicles. Otherwise, by this time, all those organizations that are running at a loss could have been peopleized. As one president at that time said, peopleization. 10% of the shares were given to the employees, and the rest was owned by the public. Now, all of them are doing well. So why don't we look at the economy that way? Our economy has been never bad.
Tessa Jayawira also stated that while the tourism industry will be affected seriously, it has the capability to bounce back with the right strategic plans in place.
We talk about tourism. For the last 30 years during the LTT time, we had between 300 and 500,000 tourists coming in. Then it started increasing. Now this year we could have hit 3 million. But unfortunately, we could not achieve that. It will drop back to maybe 500,000 or even more. I mean, say, if we do the correct advertising in this country, making use of the opportunity, people know about this. All the world know about this. So make use of the opportunity. Bring your, say for example, our national airline is the most expensive airline that flies into Sri Lanka. Discount the tickets into Sri Lanka. Give them, anybody coming to Sri Lanka, offer 40% discount. Hotels. Now, the hoteliers got together recently, just 2-3 days back, and then came up with proposals. They are even meeting the airlines today to offer discounts for inward travel. So those are good things. That's the private sector that is getting involved in telling the government what to do.
5,900 army absentees have reported to military services so far during the general amnesty period announced on April 22nd, says military spokesperson Brigadier Sumit Athapattu. A general amnesty period starting from April 22nd to May 10th was granted to enable them to receive a discharge from service under 4 categories. A statement previously issued said that the amnesty has been offered by the President in his capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the Minister of Defence on the recommendations of the Ministry of Defence and the Commander of the Army. This newly devised general amnesty accordingly facilitates the discharge of all Army officers who are absent without leave for more than 21 days, of the ranked officers who are absent for more than 6 months by 22nd April 2019, and those absentees willing to rejoin the Army after their absence of more than 6 months. Keep tuning in for stock updates after this short commercial break. Welcome back. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The All-Share Price Index dropped 19.63 points to close at 5,458.78, and the S&P SL 20 dropped 4.29 points to close at 2,623.17. The turnover is 148.5 million rupees and 7 million shares were traded. Next up is Forex rates. Well, that's the wrap of the bulletin for the day, signing off with a promise for tomorrow at the same time with nothing but the latest. Thank you and good night.